Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we'll be talking about the Bitcoin price chart as it hits $107,500, while XRP continues to waddle around in this range on a big day where Ripple's stablecoin RLUSD goes live. Just went live here in the last 14 minutes. A lot of excitement out there for XRP. We'll talk about things that happened, like when the automatic market makers came out back earlier this year, how it took some time for that to impact price, if it's going to even at all. Of course, it creates a lot of excitement and buzz and headlines, which is always great. But of course, my thoughts are we're still waiting for the broader market to be able to move and take XRP with it, along with Ethereum, which is what I posted about on Twitter this morning, stating that the reason this level is so significant for Ethereum is because it's the last retracement level of the 2021 through 2024 range, which throughout all of history, you get Ethereum to go, and that sends the rest of the market with it as well. And that's really just kind of where we're at right now, as total $3 up here against the high, and XRP tries to create this range to go ahead and get parabolic as well. This, of course, likely stems back to a broader move happening over there in the Russell 2000. So we'll kind of zoom in on that range. As we all know, tomorrow's the big day for the Fed. We're expecting a 25 basis point rate cut. We will live stream that. So it's typical. We get a little bit of volatility into these weeks. But good news is Russell's still behaving. Gold is still behaving. And while I don't think we made it all the way back to here not to get through it, especially with what Bitcoin has been doing. So we'll kind of bounce around the market today, kind of painting a picture of where we're at, because typically tomorrow's going to be pretty volatile. This afternoon could be volatile, and many times the days after we have the Fed meeting, things can be volatile. Doesn't change the big picture of waiting for this thing to break out of here and the structures we're making. Everything looks good. I think we're all just kind of on the edge of our seat, wanting to see things get moving right now rather than it being kind of still continued ranging behavior. So to kind of put into context where we're at as we head into tomorrow's big day, I guess I misspoke yesterday. I've been saying, I said 106,000. I guess it was 107,000 was what the measured move was. So we've gotten to a measured move. We're all still waiting to see if this is a bigger expansion to take it to 140 to 150, or if it starts some type of distribution. XRP, obviously, I expected would continue this range. I'm still going to bet we're probably going to come down here, that it's not a full-blown breakout. I'll take it if we get it. It's just not typical that that's how it goes. It typically does still have to range for a little while in here. So when I come on here, like, I'm not posting tweets of like FOMO tweets. I know they get super engagement. I know if I posted something like, hey, we're going to $10, I know that we get thousands of likes on Twitter. But I also know that, these can be really volatile in here right now. Let's get something really clear, and then we'll start posting rocket ships, right? On a big enough time frame, like over the next month or so, right? I think we're gonna be rocket shipping, but I know everybody's living right here in the moment, in the second, looking for it to go. And typically these things do just have some volatility that happen right in here, and we know we're in a volatile week. So there's a lot of hype out there right now for RLUSD, or Ripple's stablecoin. Creates good headlines with, in the environment that we're in right now with crypto, right? We're in a bullish trend right now. So any news, tends to make things do better. But of course, people come into it with the expectations like, here's the date it's going to go live. I know it's going to go live. That means the price is going to moon on that day. We had that same type of thing happen with automatic market makers, where people thought the price would moon because the automatic market makers went live. But it was kind of having to explain, well, here's what the automatic market makers can do. If somebody creates a business model and a website that can do meme coin trading, then there's a really good purpose for this automatic market maker. But on day one of launch, of course, there was none of that, right? It took 6 months before First Ledger ever even came out. Then the AMMs exploded in volume. But it didn't happen back here in March. It took all the way over here for things to start getting carried away, right? So I kind of look at it through the same light with RLUSD. Not really sure on how it's going to impact usage for XRP today. But given enough time, there'll probably be some type of models that come out that provide something. So definitely still super mega bullish, but in order for prices to get carried away, it typically takes more than just being bullish with the actual asset. It takes liquidity flows to happen throughout markets. And we tend to get those liquidity flows when we have things like the Russell 2000 behaving, Total 3 behaving, and if Ethereum gets out, that just turns up the whole thing. It's pretty on brand for me to think that way. And while it was once the Russell broke out, that all crazy broke loose throughout the crypto market. So still keeping that view, keeping that mindset, and waiting for this thing to turn up. Now, on a small time frame here, like this is only about 3 weeks of price action that's happened in here where we've seen the Russell kind of drift lower. My thoughts are it is going to turn its way up. It is going to set a new all-time high. And this is really just like a crashing structure that has been happening in here. We're kind of nearing the end of it, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're in here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back to wave 4 within wave 5. This thing's still probably going to set another low or two, and then we can start working our way back up. Makes sense. What are we going to have happen here within the next 24 to 48 hours? We're going to have the Fed meeting. It's typically very volatile. The day after the Fed is typically very volatile. So it's kind of a perfect week for the conclusion of this thing to happen, where people are uncertain, worried. What is Jerome Powell going to do when he comes out and speaks, right? Last time when he came out and spoke, he made it sound like we were not getting any more rate cuts. But the market says, yes, we are. We're getting 25 basis points. So it's expected he's going to come out and say we're getting 25. But we'll see what his thoughts are moving forward when we have things like inflation starting to kind of settle now and not continuing to make the drift to the lower side, right? We know that for the last several months, of course, we did drift down, but the last couple of months, it's stabilized and started creeping its way back up. That was expected based on what we saw in the month-over-month data, that we would just not be replacing larger figures. This one right here that we just replaced last week, that was for November. Well, we're over here trying to replace 0.2s. It's unlikely we're going to even make any type of meaningful improvement to the year-over-year inflation, even after the next CPI reading, because the next one as well is another 0.2 that's going to be replaced. But then we got a couple of bigger ones coming in here for a few months. So if you just kind of continue to stack these 0.2s and 0.1s while you're continuing to knock out these 0.3s and these 0.4s, well, then you can see this thing start to drift down, right? Maybe we actually do end up getting down to 2% in maybe 3 or 4 months from right now. So that seems to be on the horizon. If you just kind of look 3 or 4 months out from right now, like getting like March and April, that we could get near that 2% year-over-year inflation. And we'll see if that's kind of what he is saying too, and if easing is going to start happening, or at least reducing the restrictive environment. So it's very, very common to have a lot of volatility in moments like this, leading up to it, during it, and right after it. And well, it would make sense to kind of have ending of a move where you kind of reach the extreme and then things whipsaw their way back up over the coming weeks. So whipsaw yourself back up over here in the Russell 2000, escape the retracement levels for Ethereum, escape the all-time high for total 3, and boom, go ahead and escape for XRP. So it's kind of one really big picture with a lot of puzzle pieces that go with it. But this is how we've done things for a long time. And sure enough, right when it all happened back in November, what do you know? XRP goes from 50 cents to almost $3. And I think we'll get there. Just the rocky road that we have to go through right in here is just what we have to deal with for today. And I know macro is not everybody's favorite topic, talking about CPI data and the Fed. I get it. Or why do we have to look at gold? But all these things are just really tied together. And you wouldn't think your XRPs are tied to what happens with the whole market or what happens with Ethereum, but all of it is super interconnected, and we wait for all the stars to align to say that the spark may be ignited, which is what we did have there back on November 9th. All the stars got aligned on everything with gold, the Russell 2000, Bitcoin, altcoin market, all of it aligned. It was time. The spark was ready to go, and now we're just waiting for that next spark to ignite, which will take the altcoin market out, Ethereum out, the Russell out, and our precious XRPs. So things I'll be looking forward to see if this is a sustained move to end up getting out of the range and continue moving for XRP will be gold. Keep on breaking down. Let us know. We're already in wave 3 to the downside. Total 3, or the altcoin market, go ahead and escape into that all-time high. Ethereum, if you join the party too, it's on like Donkey Kong. And of course, if the Russell makes a big U-turn, well then we've got everything aligned again. I think there'll still be a little bit more bumpiness that happens right in here because it's just typically what you do. But ultimately, the end result getting out. And that's just what we're waiting on and trying to get our setup to get there. So I think the really exciting time is coming. I think it's going to be payday. But as we've talked about in the weeks leading up to this, you typically just see this stuff back at the all-time highs. And that's what we're fighting through. And now we've got to fight through this week that we're in. It's always like this when we get to these weeks, that there's just kind of bouncing all around and kind of crazy. But fortunately, when we get to next week, it will all be behind us. So Tomorrow, there'll be multiple live streams. It'll be markets in the morning, and then a couple hours later, we'll do the Fed live stream. I keep all the charts up on the screen. We watch Bitcoin, we watch the stock market, we watch gold. We'll put XRP on there to see how it's reacting at the same time. And it's always intense and usually a lot of fun at the same time. You would think watching Jerome Powell speak and do hard swallows wouldn't be that fun, but we make the best of it. So check that out tomorrow. Of course, just 2 days ago, I just published a new newsletter over here at blockchainbacker.substack.com called Getting Ready, Crypto's Parabolic Moment, examining parabolic expansions, portfolio performance, and exit psychology, preparing and restructuring. Talk about what parabolic expansions look like. Talk about the 20 coin portfolio that I bought back in September and how it's doing. Then dive into the psychology of what it's like when things are really exciting and exits are being approached, preparing for that, and then what a restructuring would look like. And go through examples of it with Excel sheets and stuff like that too. So you could check that out over there at blockchainbacker.substack.com. Comes with a 48-minute audio recording. You can check out bcbacker.com with over 40 videos and 11 hours of content teaching you how to set up your own charts and indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. There are links in the description of this video to bcbacker.com and to the newsletter at blockchainbacker.substack.com. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and I'll be with you guys practically all day tomorrow. So, all right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.